Welcome to Discovering the Internet with Ben. I'm your host, Ben Gumz. During this show, we'll journey the Internet to discover what's on the Internet and what you can do with the Internet. I've been working with the Internet with TriWest Communications and Independence for more than 5 years, so I've seen a lot of changes on the Internet. The exciting thing is that it's going to keep changing, giving us resources, information, and services that we've never dreamed of even just a decade ago. Being able to communicate instantly with friends and relatives, or little handheld computers that can send and receive email, help you shop, get the weather, sports scores, or even kitchen appliances like a refrigerator that keeps track of your food and contacts the grocery store with internet to order more stuff for you. Anyway, towards the end of each show, we'll have a tech tip that tells you how to do something interesting with your computer or the internet, and we'll read some email questions sent in by the viewers and try to answer them for you. Well, here we go. Now we start out at a screen on our computers called the desktop. It includes some sort of background, a bunch of little pictures called icons, and the taskbar. The icon we are looking for will open our internet. Look for either a blue E or a globe with a magnifying glass on it. This is Internet Explorer from Microsoft. If you don't have either of those, look for a blue and orange lighthouse. The lighthouse is Netscape's communicator. It's the same type of program as Internet Explorer and does the same things, simply a competitor. These internet programs are generally called browsers. A browser is simply a type of program used for viewing or browsing the internet. Internet Explorer and Netscape Communicator are browsers, just like Solitaire and Hearts are games. I'll be using Internet Explorer on this show, but you can use whichever you would like to. Now find one of those icons, point your mouse over it, and double-click the left button to open the program. Now be careful to click quickly and keep the mouse still or it won't work. A little trick I use is just click the mouse once. See what happens? It highlights. Now just hit the Enter key on your keyboard. Just as good and a lot easier to do. Now upon opening, our Internet Explorer knows to go and grab our dialing program to establish our connection to the Internet. Without a connection to the Internet, our Internet Explorer cannot do very much. So we'll hit the Connect button and we're on our way. After our connection to the Internet is established, our program will open and bring us to the starting page. Let's quickly look at Internet Explorer and some of its parts and see how it's put together so we can better use it. At the very top of the little web page, at the very top is the title of the web page as well as the name of our browser. Under that we see a string of words like File, Edit, View. I call the word bar. All of those words use a drop-down menu to give us more options for using our browser. Under that, the most commonly used word will probably be Favorites, which is a list of websites that we've asked Explorer to remember for later viewing. Beneath the word bar is the toolbar, or a bunch of buttons for frequent use in our internet time. The buttons on the toolbar help us move forward, backward, print, go to our home location, and more. Notice how they light up when you put your mouse over them? That means that you're opting to choose that. Click of the mouse, and away you'll go. Then underneath that, we see the address bar with a long white box for displaying the internet address of whatever page we're viewing. You can use this text box to jump to another site simply by replacing what's there with a different address and hitting the Enter key on the keyboard. We'll start off by going to what's called a search engine. A search engine is simply a web page that's designed for helping you locate things on the internet. Some common search engines that you may have heard about on TV are Yahoo, AltaVista, Lycos. One of my personal favorites is one called Google. Kind of a funny name, I guess. To get to Google, we would simply click in the address bar, highlight everything in it, and simply type the address. Address for Google happens to be www.google.com. When we're done typing, you hit the Enter key on the keyboard, and it'll begin taking us there. Google is a very simple page. Mostly just has a logo and a box with a blinking cursor in it for typing text so we can go somewhere. Now, let's say we want to find out, some interesting things to do on the internet, maybe go car shopping. We could type in car shopping in the space provided and hit Google search, and it would take us there. Show us what's on the internet for car shopping. Now we see our results. We have cars.com, vintage cars, rental cars, cars online, cars homepage. Why don't we click on this one and see where we go? Now this sort of page is for purchasing cars on the internet and getting reviews about them. Choose which make you would like to go for, which make you would like to find, price range, particular model, how far you'd like to go to get this car, how far away, where you're starting from. You'd hit go. It would show you all the cars it has in the database. You can get reviews, views inside and outside of the cars. Very handy resource tool. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's say we want to use the internet to find the weather. I happen to have a couple sites bookmarked that show us the weather in the local area. So let's go to the Intellicast.com site for the regional weather in Wisconsin. And in just seconds, web page comes up showing us what the forecast is going to be like for Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Looks like a good day to be golfing this weekend. Now, one aspect of the Internet Explorer program, as well as Netscape, is the ability to save a web page that you'd like to repeat seeing over and over. If you look at the addresses can get very long sometimes, and I'd hate to have to write that down and type it every time I wanted to visit that website. Nor would it be fun to have to click through the string of web pages sometimes to get to the point you want. Instead, they make it possible to simply click on the word favorites up at the top of the screen and click Add to Favorites. Internet Explorer will then ask you if this is a suitable name. You just simply hit OK. And it will save the web page just as it is for you. So for later viewing, you can simply click on Favorites, select that name of the web page, and click on it, and you'll be taken right back to that same spot. Now, the internet has just a vast amount of things that are available on it. Just limitless possibilities. So let's just kind of jump around and take a look at a few of them, shall we? For example, have you ever wondered what it looks like inside a space shuttle? Well, we can see that on the internet. So we'll go to our NASA Space Shuttle virtual tour site, Payload and Orbiter Virtual Tour. We'll proceed in. Thousands of companies and businesses and resorts and places getting on the internet and putting what they have to offer on the internet. So you can take virtual tours like this of almost anywhere in the world you can think of. Cairo, Egypt, Wisconsin Dells, hotels and resorts from all over the nation, Yellowstone Park, Great America, Disneyland, Paris, France, you name it, and it's probably on the internet. Let's take a look at what the flight deck looks like. Now sometimes graphics might take a little bit long to load because it's quite a picture that has to be loaded. This in fact is actually a 3D picture where we'll be able to control which direction we move the picture in. It's coming in right now. It's the view that the Space Shuttle Commander has right there. Or let's jump to another part, like say, the Space Lab. Now the internet has so many different parts to it, I guess it's hard to really fit everything in just one TV show. Certainly there are parts that are also interesting as far as making web pages, sending and receiving email messages to friends and relatives, sending pictures to people, putting files on an internet server for storage so they don't have to be on your computer. Even things like grocery shopping at grocery stores, even in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Making tea times at golf courses over the internet. Researching materials, Encyclopedia Britannica. Well, let's jump somewhere else. One favorite thing to do on the internet of mine is to catch up with all the news in the world and region by looking at online newspapers. Pretty much every online newspaper in the major metropolitan areas is on the internet and available to read every day. One of my favorites is the USA Today newspaper. Other popular papers in this area include Leader Telegram, La Crosse Tribune, St. Paul Star Tribune, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Chicago Tribune, New York Times, LA Sun Times. Going into other things possible on the internet, radio stations are now broadcasting their feeds over the internet to listen to live through your computer speakers. You can listen to news broadcasts from Peter Jennings, sports contests, listen to the baseball games, listen to books being read to you online, or listen to your favorite radio shows like Dr. Joy Brown or Rush Limbaugh. Let's jump somewhere else, shall we? How about catching up on our favorite sports news from ESPN.com? There are tons of sports sites out there, all with their own distinctive flavor and style. Catch up on the scores, latest headlines, join their online teams. Now you might ask how I'm finding all these sites so quickly. Well, I really didn't find them very quickly. It actually took a long time, a few years ago, for me to find these sites. The way I do it is I pick one of the top search engines, I use a little bit to get a feel for it and find out whether I like it or not, and then I begin to look up anything that hits my head that I want to look for on the internet. I type it in as a keyword in the internet search. I'll show you an example. I found out about a website called Yahoo many years ago from, I believe it was in a newspaper ad. And they had the address printed there. It was www.yahoo.com. So let's type that in and go over to Yahoo. So what we do is we highlight the original address, retype over the top www.yahoo.com, and hit the enter key on our keyboard. Now if I was looking for ESPN, say, on the internet, I would simply type in ESPN. Whoops. There we go. And click the search button. All search engines look a little bit differently, but they basically have the same components. A place to type something in, a button to click on. Some have their own services and features, like Yahoo has free email service and stock quotes. There, and now Yahoo returned a whole bunch of sites linking to ESPN.com. Now you see how ESPN.com, the text is purple rather than blue? That means it's a place we visited already. So you can kind of keep track of where you've gone on the internet simply by seeing what's purple. If you've been to a site before and you see purple text on it, that means that's where you went the last time. So I just kind of start writing down the names of web pages that I find out about, like ESPN.com, Yahoo.com, USAtoday.com. And I kind of keep a little mental library of them until I put them in my favorites. Now if we wanted to make a favorite of ESPN, we'd simply click on the word favorites up at the top of our screen. Now in Netscape, favorites is the same thing as bookmarks. Click on favorites and click add to favorites. Could change the name if we would like. And we're done. Next time we'd like to view that page, simply click on the word favorites up at the top of our screen and click on what we named it. In this case, I named it ESPN Sports. And there we go. Now the way I scroll up and down on the screen like this, over at the far right hand side, if you can see this, there's a scroll bar. You can either click on the placeholder, little piece in the middle there, hold the mouse down and drag it up and down, or you can click on the arrows at either end. You can also, if you'd rather use your keyboard, you can also use the keys on your keyboard, up and down arrows to go up and down your web page. It's all what is comfortable to you. Now, let's go back to Yahoo and take a look at this for a moment. Yahoo is the kind of site, it's a good site to start out at when you first get onto the internet. Why? Because it has so much to offer. You can find anything you need to right from one spot. Auctions, a free email service, Yellow Pages, People Search, Maps, Travel, Classifieds, Sports, News, Weather, and a keyword search in case they don't have what you're exactly looking for. Another search engine is called AltaVista. And the address for that I found out is www.altavista.com. So we'll type that in our address bar, hit the Enter key on our keyboard, see, it looks a little bit different than Yahoo, but it's generally the same thing. Offers the same things, just in a different order. Now, for example, let's say we wanted to find things out about the Green Bay Packers. I find it best to just type it exactly as you're looking for it. Green Bay Packers. You hit search. And it came up with just over 51,000 web pages on the Green Bay Packers. Now, one thing you might notice about a difference between Yahoo and AltaVista is the way they package the information and return it to you. Yahoo didn't give me as much information about each website, but they categorized things a little bit better. AltaVista didn't categorize anything at all. They just gave me about a 2-line description of what the web page is about, the address, the last time it was modified, and a way to get there. I'd never seen this Packer site before. So we'll make it a favorite. Click on Favorites, click Add to Favorites. That'd be it. Green Bay Packers Packernet is a fine name, so we'll just click OK. There. Now it's saved for the next time I want to go back there. In case you're wondering if the internet is something that's made for all ages, well, it is. There are a lot of places that specialize in offering content specifically made for kids. Kid-safe, kid-friendly. Such sites are the actual TV networks that already cater to kids, like Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers. There are lots of sites on the internet. Yahoo has created a website just for kids that is specifically designed for kids' use. I found that site out, so let's take a look at that particular site. The address for that is www.yahooligans.com. We'll hit our Enter key. You can see it's laid out a bit like our regular Yahoo. A little bit more splash, a little bit more color. But it's something that kids can use. Well, with all these sites we visited, it's time for our tech tip. Our tech tip for today is how to change the home page location that your browser starts out with. The home page in your browser is the page it begins with every time you start the internet. It's also the place you jump to when you click the home button on the toolbar. quick point to ponder. Software makers keep coming out with updated or this or revised that. And that means that there's a lot of different types of software floating around. So these instructions may not work perfectly for everybody. If they do not work perfectly, or very closely, click the word Help and click Contents up at the top, and it'll better be able to help you out with how to do these instructions on your internet program. Now, with Internet Explorer, we'd click the word Tools at the top. Then from the drop-down menu, we click Internet Options. The window that pops up shows us a whole bunch of different ways we can customize our browser. Up at the top section, we see Homepage, and it says you can change which page to use for your homepage. Right now it has a particular address in it. To change our homepage, we simply erase that address, the backspace key on our keyboard, type in a new one. Now make sure to include HTTP, a colon, and 2 forward slashes. That lets our internet program know what kind of file it's going to look for. When we type our address, let's say we wanted to use Yahoo as our new homepage. We type in http://www.yahoo.com, and down at the bottom of the screen we click on the OK button. Now the next time we click Home, or the next time we begin our quest on the internet, we'd come up to the Yahoo screen first. And now on to our email question. Our question today comes to us from Kevin in Arcadia. He asks, when connecting to the internet, we have call waiting on our line, and when connecting to the internet, it would disconnect our modem whenever the phone rang. That no longer happens to our modem, and the caller on the other line gets a busy signal. Is this something that got changed on the internet service provider's end, or something with the telephone company's end, or something on our end? We like that feature because we needed to have calls come through, but we did not want to have the cost of a second line. Please help. Well, Kevin, the answer to that lies in technology. Modems and internet equipment in general are getting smarter and smarter. One way they've gotten smarter is to figure out how to not give up a connection to call waiting like they used to. Older modems and older modem software used to get disconnected when a call waiting beeped in. Now modem manufacturers found a way to stop this and put it in their new modems and software. You even may have an older modem that used to disconnect but now does not. That's probably because of a regular, necessary upgrade to your modem software or your internet service provider's modem software. Now what to do about it? Well, we probably can't change the modems on either end very much. They need their new settings in order to run properly with the ever-changing internet. However, companies are now offering products that will let callers have a voice message that plays over your computer speakers. One such software program is called CallWave. You download their software, then add Call Forward Busy to your phone service, and forward calls to the toll-free number given to you by CallWave. Then, callers won't get that annoying busy signal, and you get to know who's calling while you are on the internet. CallWave can be found on the internet at www.callwave.com. Well, that's it for our show. Join us next time when we'll talk about more things to do on the internet and more ways the internet can help you in your daily life. My name is Ben Gumz, and thank you for joining us.